got from all of us. Hello and welcome to episode number 2 within the Ring of Fire. And we're glad to have each and every one of you out there in Imagination Land. Woohoo! Come and join us here as the phoenix flies to heights never imagined. This is our new ongoing saga. You want to get this one to check out the first one. Want to make sure you subscribe right here to be his channel. Show her some love. Leave us some comments. Hit the like button if you will. And we appreciate that. Make sure to go over to drivethrurpg.com if you like what you see. And if you like RPG, how can you not, baby? That's what I'm saying to you. Get infected with the RPG revolution, a disease you will never want to receive a cure from. I'll guarantee that right now. If Azadaka has given the world one thing, it is RPG excellence. So make sure you can find out what that is. Go to drivethrurpg.com. Get all your physical copies of the first 5 books for Within the Ring of Fire. Come join us on Raw Immersive Games, our official Facebook page. About 1,000 people in there. You can find local games within the Ring of Fire. You can find games on Google Plus, on Skype, text-based games, loads of stuff, and stuff is popping off, coming out. Grassroots movement, be part of it. Make RPG matter. Say no to corporate gaming. Grasp that cinematic flair and descriptive edge that leaves the impression of the real treasures of RPG, the memories of fantastic times, and elegant, detailed descriptions. You could also, for only $75, hit me up. Just send me a friend request and or on Facebook. It's the easiest way to do it since YouTube has decided to just make communications very difficult with users. I used to hit back my 30 or 40 messages, personal messages, a day on there. Now you can barely even get to them. So you hit me up on Facebook, just send a friend request. Let me know you want the Within the Ring of Fire bundle, $75. Not only get you the 5 PDFs that are out right now, immediately you'll be first in line to get any new PDFs as they come out. And I'm working on 2 right now, Here Be Dragons and Menagerie. So that's at least 7 PDFs for a tremendous price. The best value in RPGs today. Get on board, and you definitely are going to be very interested in that, and you also get some bonuses along with that. So hit me up, take advantage, get playing Within the Ring of Fire, PDFs, physical copies, do what you need, get what you want, go to Cafe Press and pick up the t-shirts, hats, posters, whatever you need. We got you, baby. There's a thong for Within the Ring of Fire. It doesn't matter. Get what you want. And I'm going to turn it back over to our talented and beautiful storyteller, Mia. And take it away, man. Oh, make sure also you check out Lou's channel. Subscribe to Lou. Subscribe over to Philippe Gorgella, which is our man Phil. And you can check out Trevor on Onion Kid, and you can bother him and attack him and taunt him for not posting videos as he well should. As we all know, he is an excellent video maker. And if you see him in public, hit him with a bell, throw stuff at him. It doesn't matter. He sure won't post about it in a video format. So back over to you. Thanks everyone out there that's watching.
Well, thank you for that. Well, we start with a small recap. We start with Eros, Adonis, and Akrova, who were traveling in the frozen lands of Nif towards the famed city of Flamedance. They were attacked, and all the fake creatures still alive were dragged off to the other side of Ibifnul, the unknown part. Well, as they were traveling, they were chained up, as is the custom of Vikesh, to enslave and beat everything down in front of them. They got them to a salt lake, way in the steppes of this barren land, made them dig in the soil for scraps of metal. But the 2 of them heroically were freed by the cunning of Akrova and a spilled barrel with soup. And on the other hand, we have the 2 other characters. Akrova Kuro and Apitax, who were traveling to investigate this lake, because before this there was a rainfall who lasted several chains as they were traveling in rain. Not storm, just pouring rain. And they got there when the other twos were still in chain, but they did nothing. But when the screams of both Eros and Akrova was heard over the steppe, they snuck up there, slowly watching, and the two met the other two. And now they are here in this morning. The Dawn Lighterfell psalm is hanging in the skies still. They are on this beach of salt, surrounded by no plant life. The winds have been gaining in speed over the night, and the smell and the mist has been a bit dispersed, but it's still horrid here. The smell of rotten eggs, salt are filling your mouth, your nose. So, well, fairly it's horrid here, I must say. But the reddish salt lake is slightly moving with the wind, and because an ogre is on the edge of the lake. As you're looking at him, he seems enraged as he's like walking around, talking to himself under his breath. And he takes up a big piece of metal. "You'll have none of your steel!" And then he throws it. A big splash in the lake as it ripples. "None of your slavery!" And he throws another piece of water. Another ogre looks at him, walks over slowly as you see him, breathing down that rage. "You keep down. Find calm. Flower told us this." He puts his hand on his shoulder. And as you all look at these two, you see a green shadow in the mist out there in the lake. So green. And you can take it away.
So I'm sitting there, probably near the cart, a strange, black-feathered, red-skinned ostrich-like bird mount. At the cart, I got the leather wrappings. I'm putting away what I took from the lake, and I've put that away and I've rested a bit. But I look very guarded, perhaps a little anxious. My eyes are, for one, I am an orc, wearing sort of a nice brown cloak, hooded cloak. The hood is down now as there is no rain currently. And you could see my skin has a bit of a sickly-looking green color to it. Perhaps a bit more of a acidic look to it, or perhaps a little darker green than of a skin tone. And I have a few sort of, I guess, black splotches around my skin here and there. But I'm there and I'm reading. I got a book in my hand and I'm looking at the others. And I have these very deep, eye sockets. With like this pronounced brown, these very pronounced cheekbones, and like I'm looking at this book, and I'm by the wagon. I'm looking at this book and I'm reading it, and every now and then I'll look up from the book and I'll look at Eros, and just watch him for a few moments, and then I'll look back and continue reading. But for the most part, I'm keeping quiet, and then I see that green patch, and then I look out at that. But I remain quiet and a bit more reserved.
Very hungry. Was certainly thinking about satiating myself upon anyone here, really. I have, of course, forged some degree of a bond with Arkova. The this despicable thing with long tusks seems almost inedible to me. Perhaps more bark than flesh, and that certainly isn't something that can be tolerated in my palate. Uh, However, there's another that's small and not red and not ogre and has not endured our hardships. Perhaps, just perhaps, a wondrous meal it might make after it's to transport us. Sadly, I must wait, but hopefully not long. As I look over at Quiro the Liar and just smile, wistfully thinking to myself, I stand at about 6.5 feet in height, and my hair orange near flame, and with a feathered texture to it that looks splendid. I am myself unfathomably good looking, beyond your capacity to imagine beauty, with 5 levels of attractive, which is to say, on a human scale, if you think a 10 is the absolute highest in a fantasy species spectrum, I would be perhaps more along the lines of a 15, quite literally, not to be hyperbolic. I have pale skin, but not as pale as a Mihungi's skin ought to be, and the light seems not to bother my eyes, though plays upon them the eyes themselves like living dancing flames inside my skull, just behind. I have perfectly straight and white teeth, long pointed and clearly predatory. My eyes dance and smile as I look from person to person, clearly conveying the predator that is beneath. My arm still burned as nearly as if acid had been poured upon them. So horrid were the binds placed upon me by these Vaigish, binds and damage and wounds that will not be forgotten nor forgiven any time. I look over these individuals, and I will move over to the less savory of them and speak. You are unlike others I have, and I smell, drinking deeply in your scent. Beheld. What traitel are you?
Just look up at you. And you can tell, like, I lean back a bit, like I'm take a bit more of a guarded stance as you approach. And, I'm sitting down, and then I slowly start to get up. And then I sort of look at you, and you are far from home, for I have only seen one of you. It isn't Flame Dance. You're kind. There are many of my kind here. You will see them upon our journey. I just sort of gesture. I am Orc.
What might you be called?
You may call me Apatax.
Your people, what are they called?
They are Orc. This is... you are near Orklands.
Orklands. I am not from here.
Yes,
I'm holding in my hands like this an obsidian bastard sword laced with silver inscribed runes. If anyone speaks the language of flame, I can go in more to that. I say, there is another Mihongi then. I am not so familiar with the northern branch of people, my cousins. That would be interesting. I must extend my humble thanks for your allowing us to accompany you so that we may come to this flame dance. The wine, I understand, flows remarkably, and there are deers in the woods who are near the shadow of myself.
Perhaps you will enjoy.
Yes. Well, again, my thanks. And to you, my small friend Quill. Yes, I appreciate your kindness in allowing us to accompany you. And my eyes just dance with flame as I look down upon you, smelling you, drinking in the scent, the sensation, and the vibration that comes from you.
In response to this sniffing, my tail poof, just like bristles and stands straight out in alarm, for I, Kuro, am a kitsune, looking physically much like a smaller Mihangi, that is to say, a predatory fae of angular features, red eyes, long, sharp ears that are keen. However, I have long white hair, and a single white foxtail extends from my lower back, and I have also been regarding the night with much sniffing, as one would do. This fox fae, as the Mihangi or the wolf fae. We are distant cousins. There is certainly a familial resemblance, although standing at a mere 5'6", I'm much smaller and much wilier than perhaps Eros is accustomed to, and I have seen that hunger. I have seen it before in Hanzakyun, though I have never seen a Mihangi smile. Ah, yes, what Apitak says is true. There is another Mihangi in Flame Dance. He is none other than the captain of the guard, Hanzakyun the Hunter. He has a preternatural ability to run down any prey, be it on 4 feet with hooves, or perhaps 2 feet, be it a thief, or some other bandit or ne'er-do-well. He has taken to him a wife of a strange species. She has horns like a deer, little hoofed feet, and a tail, a white tail, like those that you may hunt in the forest. And I look to the
I put
local
my hand
trees.
just like this. What is a deer?
Oh, I had assumed you would be familiar. I've seen other wolves, though they look far different than yours. They are coal black of hair and snow white of skin. They are not like yours.
Obviously.
Yes, a deer it's an animal. It has 4 legs, hoofs. It is swift and slender. But the meat, however, is mighty fine. I cannot help but notice you are wounded about the wrists. These accursed chains. Black magic must have been spoken into those bindings, and they have burnt you. I could head into these trees here. I could head into these trees and perhaps find you a balm or a salve, and I believe Apatax would be quite adept at administering it. And I pat Apatax on the shoulder. I don't know if he'd be skilled in barber in any way, but I still offer. If only we were in a forest, but here, this tundra. And I look at the tundra, just shrubs and rolling hills, no trees, in fact. And I look around. Perhaps I may be able to find something of use. And as I speak these words, I'm trying to make myself useful to Eros in something beyond a future dinner. And I look out over those the calm waters of this lake that just smells of sulfur, and unfortunately we've had to spend the night near it, and my nose wrinkles. Ugh. That there, a dancing green shadow. Now this is something I ain't never seen. I do not know what it's like. Have any of you seen such a thing? Have you seen it in your books there, Apatax, or in your travels, Eros, or
I
in the
press
tales and songs, Arkova?
my hand against your face, Quero.
Oh,
Yes, I appreciate your. I just kind of rub it like this. Your attentions and ministrations and your offer of this fine, stroking you very gently, your fine medical attention, but there are smell. And I quiver slightly. There are fortunate that we are in such a place that shall not permit that well, but I have not heard of these deer before. They sound interesting. Where I'm from, we feast mostly upon cattle or goats, the higher points. I'm sort of kind of rubbing my hand over your face. Yes, but deer hunting, yes, this other man, Nihongi, you speak of, that is interest to me, my piqued curiosity. But we shall, I'm just kind of like rub my hand, touching your face, and we shall certainly be very interested to see what your land holds. But I assure you I am quite different from others of my kind you have met. I am not from Epiphanul, I believe you call it. Well, I lean over towards Arkova. Well, what do you think, my unintentional companion of bondage? Shall we throw in our lot with these wanderers? Perhaps see what this land may offer us in bounty. And I smile wide, just wider than a human can, just feeling these huge fangs of nightmare.
Sitting there, looking over the entire scene, taking in, drinking in all the conversations and the sights and sounds before him, admiring Eros's just all beauty, to see something so striking fills his mind with much wonder, as well as the rest of them, just to look upon things new, for he has not seen many an orc, very few at times. And of course there's Kuro as well, another new sight to be had. He is lightly playing his mandolin at the moment, a light somber tune, to try to perhaps maybe drown out the awful smell that has filled his nostrils. He has long since tried his best to endure it. It has left him in a quiet stupor. Around 7'6", bright red skin, chiseled features. Ah, yes. He is powerfully built, but yet his fingers are quite nimble and elegant as they play along the mandolin, allowing it to sing like the wind itself. And then along the top of his head, a line of tattoos written in black across his bald head, steering all the way down. And he looks over at you, Eros. My destination was Flame Dance all along, my friend. The trail happens to lead there, and our paths entwine, and so I shall be there as well. As you say, my lot is, and with them as well.
Splendid. I'm glad to have you with me. And what say you, the rest of you red folk of the mountains yawning mouth?
Two of them are like they're sitting with Akrova listening to him. The other two are like looking from the lake. We will follow. We have nothing but ourselves now, no jobs. We'll find another caravan when we get there, or maybe stay. And they nod. Baron seems a little bit just remembering that the three of them and the other two are still talking lowly to each other. The two female ogres were like looking at you like a bit like when you were touching Kira, they're like looking away, but yeah. Most of them's eyes are fixed on you.
It is settled, Quiro, then please lead on.
Yes, of course. Now, before we go to Flame Dance, we have another dancing flame out there, green and strange. Someone who's capable and brave and hardy. And I look again to Arkova. Should perhaps see what there is to be seen with this strange new effect. One never knows what spirits in a place may take offense at camping upon these waters. Perhaps we will need to make some recompense with perhaps some of the chains that you've taken from these creatures.
Go.
They enjoy
See.
it.
I sense in Darren. Go. See. Like in agreeance to him. Go. Go. See.
Looking around a bit, to the tune that he plays begins to die down, and he finally stops and swinging it back over his shoulders. He gets up, rotating him a little bit as he does so, a little bit of arms moving back and forth. Very well then, I shall go and see this. And begins to walk out there. He has an elegant stride as he does so, making sure to show off every angular feature that he has as he walks out there.
You want us to follow?
No. You all stay here. I will go, and I will see. If it is trouble, well, then it will meet me.
Yes, the spirits they don't like seeing a big group. One single ogre should be more than enough to conversate with it.
Secretly, though, as he says the word spirit and stuff, the back of his mind, he begins to feel a little bit of absolute fear, as he is no dealer of spirits. He doesn't even know what he's getting himself into, but he's going to push forward anyways, now that he has said that he would.
All spears handed to you by one of the ogre men, and he looks at you like nodding and handing it over. War spear of iron.
He takes it off of him very lightly and gently, returns a nod to him, and he uses it more as a walking stick as he heads up there.
But yeah, you slowly move closer to this green shadowy form. The water is still harsh on your feet. You can feel it as you move, further into the lake. It gets deeper now, not just to your ankles. That slight burning gets worse when you, walk over some of the metal rusty scraps and cut your feet a bit on the swampy floor.
He begins to wince. He'll wince every time he walks, and as his feet get slightly cut, but the part of him begins to want to brave it out and tough it out, but even so, you can just feel this raw burning on the inside. He presses forward.
When the lake is about 4 feet deep, you can see a little island in the mist, and you see this apple tree growing there. It's just deflowered and has small apple pieces growing there. But yeah, you see this small tree getting closer. And the little island has only this tree. The roots are a bit exposed, and if you have any sense of outdoorsman, I know you would have, you guessed that it's because of the rain. You actually wouldn't know about the rain, but the roots are exposed a bit. And in the tangled roots, there's a clawed skeleton hand just reaching for the skies. Nearly, entangled in these roots.
As he approaches, he'll give that space a wide berth, but he'll crouch down and look at it. A very strange sight indeed. But he'll also glance up at the apples. Such a delicious sight.
They're really small. There's a picture. It's like they're not apples, but you can see they're growing to apples. Really small green.
He'll say as he won't pluck one out. He'll just lightly cusp it with his large hand and just kind of look it over.
Yeah, it looks just like an apple. What an apple would grow to. And this is the only on this island. It's like the only thing growing there. But the soil is very rich, very very dark. You wouldn't perhaps notice this so much, but it's definitely different than the salt-filled beach.
Appreciating this kind of change in the landscape just ever so slightly, he kind of takes a deep breath, feeling like this place has some power to it, and respectfully he will back away from the tree and giving a slight nod towards it, and then he'll turn around and begin heading back at a slightly hurried pace. When he arrives back on shore, he will look towards everyone. Lo there! There be an island in the middle, and on it a lone tree, and with it a clawed hand stretching upwards, as if to strike upon the sky, yes? Entangled in the roots it is.
What is it made of? Do you mean stone or a hand that is flesh and bone?
It looked to be a hand, only of bone, however.
Oh, so a tree was growing from the grave of a dead man. Did you see the green glow?
No, I was too distracted by the sight before me. Only the lone tree stood there. Had some apples upon it as well.
Tree green, tree and glove, mist give. I sense Darian. Two chain, ride, go, dance flame, flame dance. I gestured to Kuro. As if like and I like start turning like let's start heading out kind of thing.
Yes, the spirits here must have approved of our presence. They gave you an offering of the apple. It is a good sign, and the spirits obviously have the power to smite low any who offend them, as is evidenced by the dead man reaching forth from the ground. He did not give the proper greetings and honor to the spirits, and he paid the final and ultimate price. But none of us did that here today.
I took none of the apples, my friend. Lo there, no.
I think you could. I think they were offered up, but leaving them be is I'm sure just fine as well. Let us remember these things, and we will head out. We would not wish to take too much time before we go.
Right.
We need apples for. They are food for owls.
Two chain, ride. Food some, little. I gesture to like a little like wooden crate for Kuro and I. Small, small food. Little food. All you. I gesture towards. Uh,
Yes, that is very true, Apatax. We have very little food, and you have such large appetites. And I look to all the mighty red fae that stand there towering above me. Perhaps to supplement it would be a good idea. And as we move, I believe we should hunt. And I look to Eros. There'll be a fine meat out there, far sweeter than any you would find in your travels. The tundra can be giving if you know where to look. I would say look in small holes. You'll find white fluffy rabbits. They are
Then
quite
give-
delicious.
I know, right?
Not here.
But I'm very hungry and need to be sated by the bounty and offering of this land. Though I must say the cold here and the fetid water does not please me at all. It's not to my liking.
Yes, if you breathe these vapors in anymore, we'll all become ill. We should move, as Apatax has said. We have 2 chains of movement, and in that time you'll feast, I assure you.
I've been asking you for some time to lead us, so do so now, girl. And I inhale you. I look hungry.
And I look at Kuro like I look down at you and I gesture to the crate. And I say in Thraxa to you, give the beast some of the dried meat.
Yes. Well, as a peace offering to our new friends and family, how about this? And I take our little pry bar and open up a box, and the keen nose of Eros would have been thwarted by the closed box and the stench of sulfur, but now at least something greets him, something that reminds him of the flesh of another. For we do have indeed some dried meat of some of the local creatures. Perhaps our strange ostrich-like mount would not be happy to smell the remains of one of its cousins, for that is what we have to offer.
And I gesture to him when he opens it up, and Sindarian, little, take, now, go find more.
I so dislike not catching my own food. Mia, I want to present you with my intents. I am, of course, looking for some certain things, as you well know, and I have an incredible outdoorsman. I have 3 fortes in it, and it is at maximum grades. I also have a fairly decent enlightenment to back that up. I am looking for any such animals, mice, rabbits, foxes, anything that I can find to eat along the way, as I am also looking for any sort of herbs that might be useful for my other purposes. This is going to be a continuing thing while we are moving. So no.
Sure. A little note to you is that when you are packing your stuff up, you see like a leather cloth filled with beeswax, and all your beeswax gone for making soap, and you see like a gleaming helmet besides it. So they're probably using it for that.
Using it to like wash this helmet?
No, like you use beeswax to make a helmet shine, or any metal shine. So
yeah, but I'm saying that they use it on that beeswax. Well, let me ask you this: does this appear to be made of iron? This is something I would be able to deduce.
Yeah, this is iron. Yeah, iron.
All
have been iron except the dagger Kuro found.
Take this. I look at Quiro with sort of a knowing look. Take this as part of your payment. It might be worth something. And I'm kind of like looking at it like it's raw sewage, just like, just utterly disgusted by it.
I take it, and I actually touch it as little as possible as well, and it's sort of like roll it into a cloth and then like bundle it up.
I just watch a little, like, I'm up on the reins and I just look at that exchange a little bit, like, that's really it. I like tilt my head slightly at that.
I wanted also to ask you, Mia, like, okay, so my wax is gone. Is all my soap gone?
No, there's a bit of it missing, but not all of it.
Well, I wouldn't have supposed they would
Maybe a third of it is gone.
Yeah, okay.
Doesn't seem
what-
to have been. There's not like. It's not missing. Like if there's like part of the paper it will be folded in. It's not like they have used it. It's just gone.
What about my various oils and such? Have they bothered with those?
No, except maybe one or two of them are gone. But
Okay.
except the
Alright.
beeswax, all of it's like it's pretty.
Okay, very good. I just wanted to have a good working idea.
Maybe. Yeah, you wouldn't have. You probably would have smelled it when you were in the cart. One of them was probably cracked in the clay pots. So that's that. But
When Eros sort of denied the meat offered to him, I would have then like said to to Kuro to like offer it to one of the ogres.
they're
Just saying it-
definitely looking at you, but they're not. They're like pecking and looking at that meat.
Yeah, but I don't speak directly to them. I kind of like almost shunning them a little bit, like I'm a little bit of species, like we're feed the beasts. In fact, I say to Kuro, and I just make my way up to the continue sort of packing and when we're heading on out.
When I pass it out to the ogres, I sort of take it and I hold it up, and then I put it on a stone nearby, and then I put it on another stone, so I'm not like handing it to them in case that I don't get my arm back.
One of them look offended at you as they like take the meat anyway. Just look at you with like small eyes, like, ugh, and then taking it. Foxes. She says, looking at Akrova like with a look that says, "I want to eat him now, but I won't." Look at him like, and then she walks away again, eating the meat.
Hello there, Kuro. There's no need to be so cautious, my friend. You act as if you were going to feed a monster, hmm?
You must understand. I've seen what ogres have done before. You see, in Flame Dance, there are a fair amount of your kind, and when a man acts as a fool and challenges them to any sort of contest of strength, or perhaps he is too deep in his cups and he insults them, well, I think we both know there is only one way that a contest of strength and valor can end with an ogre. It ends with the ogre winning, and the loser often is nothing but bones, you see, at the end. And I have learned to respect the ogre. I have learned to fear the ogre. I have learned that the ogre is nothing to be trifled with, and I would never do such a thing.
This is true. It has often puzzled me why people do such things. Why they
And-
challenge us when they know what we'll do.
And with that, Akura, we go into your mind for a little bit. It is, well, cycle 5,000. Wave open up in a tavern in your mind. The fine mason stone building of 3 stories, but we are on the first floor. It's floorboarded. There's stone walls that are decorated by tapestries, keeping the guests and inhabitants separated from the cold walls. And the barmaids are sweeping between the tables, their hands filled with sweet-smelling wine, meat, and different fish and vegetable dishes. You and your father walks in from a back room, and he grabs the back of your head, your tattooed head, and he smiles at you. This is our chance. Father, or son. He puts his head on your head a bit as you stand just a bit off the crowds. The tavern is nearly full. You see a table in the back. There's a guy with red hair and another one as they're leaving, but none else is leaving. All the tables are full as you sit at your appointed stools. Take out your mandolins. This is your best gig. It must be, but you could take it away for a bit.
Oh, as he brings out his mandolin, he'll turn to his father and say, "Oh, tonight it is packed, and tonight they shall leave, not only with full belly, but with hearts filled with song. Let us show them the voice of Mul, huh? Ha ha!" And he just begins playing alongside of his father as they both play off of each other and create this very almost like dueling banjos sort of theme going on at first, kind of warming up the crowd as they go.
Yeah, this is your best gig. The coin's good, given by Angry Nate, the owner of the tavern, this standing behind the bar, a big ogre, taller than yourself.
Mm.
You and your father's cups are filled as you empty them. Clearly, trade is the place to be, the place to work. And you play on for a while. It's all nice. Everyone's smiling. The crowd is speaking. But then, suddenly, one of the instruments stops. And you look, it's not your instrument. You look over to him, your father, it's his instrument, his great mandolin. And you see he's slumping down on his chair, his head hanging low. And grey-furred Dukut sits, slowly, cleanly removing a kukri from the back of his head. People start soon as they realize, there's like a shockwave of screams of horror as they begin moving out, and as your father slumps down just to the floor, you see a mailbox opening in the back of his head. You can roll for reaction as this Dukusit is trying to head for the door.
Alright.
Bloody kukri in his hand. But I should roll as well. Oh.
That's a 9 right there.
Let's see what he gets. Yeah, I got a 6. So you go at it. What you gonna do?
Alright, so as soon as
Stands there.
I see my father slump down, and the moment is sort of goes into slow motion. Everything, time around me begins to just stop. Even the bustling and screamings of the folk all seem like distant mutters as I see the figure who has raised me, who has taught me this trade, has taught me this joy in my life, slump down before me in death, cold death at the hands of this very strange creature before me, the Dukusit. His head split open. That feeling of loss, that wanting to cry, but it is all mixed and intermingled with the wrongness that I feel right now. And he taps into his rage and feels it. Beforehand, whenever he would get angry, it would just be a mild thing. But now there is something deep-seated about it. A burning sensation. A fire lit in his chest that has never been put out. And it ignites this night. And he comes upon that fool. Oh, he charges at him. He drops his mandolin on the spot and picks up the stool and then throws it upon him.
Well, you can roll, but as he's not really looking at you, he's just heading straight for the door. His back turns towards you. What do you get?
Let's see here. I got 16.
Yeah, you got him.
All right, so
He has extra 9, so I think you boost, but well, you got him.
all right, so as he's running out, he grabs the stool, and then slings it, and as he throws it, the stool just goes flying and hits him right in the back of the knee. And the creature, though, with its oddly shaped legs, it catches him and it entangles in between, and the creature just falls down to the ground. And as he does, he comes rushing upon it, moving people out of the way. And as they move out away from him, for he is now a big red train, and he is now heading towards him. For the next stop in this train is going to be this creature's ass kicking, as he heads up towards it and begins to pummel it with his fists, back and forth, never stopping one moment.
You see people are just running out, and you see other of these strange fae. You would identify them as fae, these bunny-eared, as they are like sneezing at each other as they're looking at this, like, and then they're like running out. Just more of them. It seems like you didn't realize this, but as you actually are looking for them, you see more and more of these figures. They're not wearing armor, as is this one. They're wearing very normal clothing. I can show you a picture if I find one wearing this sort of outfit. Maybe a little bit out. If you remove the pointy shoes, you can see it. A vest, a skirt, some of them pants. As is this guy. He's wearing, now reddening clothing. As you pummel him to death, see he's dead instantly as your first hit hits his back head as he's crushed towards the floor. His back of his head crushed. You don't see the blood before the mist slowly fade away from your eyes, and you just see this, well, pack of digested meat in front of you. And
his hand
go back, and you can feel as you come back. You can just feel the pain in your hands from just pounding on him so hard.
So as I come to,
you can take it away.
All right. So as I have continually pounded away at this creature, I lift up my hands, and they are just shaking, raw and bloodied, as he is punched all the way into the floor, the bones slightly exposed. And as that, he's just sitting there, his face contorted in rage and sorrow, tears rolling down his eyes. And all he can do is stare at this broken figure before him, knowing in his heart that it would never be enough for the thing he has taken away. And he slowly reaches down, still with shaking palms, and just grabs bits and chunks and begins devouring it each. Oh, he consumes all of it. And
as you're devouring, suddenly you feel something like a chain falling out of your mouth. And you're pulling it out, you see a bloodied rabbit's feet on the end of this chain. And on the other end, another rabbit's feet. Perhaps jewelry. It shines a bit where it's not blood-stained.
Staring upon it and thinking of this as some sort of trinket, as some sort of jewelry of sorts, he'll grasp it lightly in his already shaking palm, and then tie the rest to his waist. This will be his momentum as he'll sit there and continually
You,
peel away.
Nate, walks over to you. This large ogre. It's like he's a bit away from you. As you're eating, this Stukud sit in his tavern just on the floor. And he looks at you. What? Whoa, what was that about? Why? That's not good for business, you know. Akrover. You can see one of his barmaids is like shaking your father, not really helping him at all, but blood is spilling everywhere, and she has blood on her hands, but she seems like calm as she's like shaking him, trying to.
Not bad for business. He's dead. He ain't gonna sing no more, damn it! Why would they want him like this? Who would do this? Who? Ah! And with that, he just takes his fist and pounds it into the already pummeled creature, blood and bone smattering upwards. And he grabs it with his hands, clawing into the wood onto the floor and just grabbing it as it's wringing out every ounce of crimson that there is between his fingers. And then he burrows forward, his head hitting the floor into the bloodied mess as well, tears rolling down his eyes, not knowing what else to do. What can you do when someone that you love has been taken away? All he can do is rage in this lonely quietness. As his tears run down his face and fall into the floor, intermingling with the blood and gore below.
He stands at you, looking at you coldly for a bit, and then he walks over. Kid, can't help what you've done to your father, but you're not helping him like this. Look at me.
What else can I do?
He points down at him. Someone must have sent him. He must have been a rookie, not looking back as he was running. I will get you a beer, and he walk back over the counter. Maybe something stronger.
At that point, he, slowly taking in what he has said, he leans back.
Oh, and by the way, he doesn't have any, like, he doesn't have so much presence, this guy. But he does seem to want to help you anyway.
Yeah, you know, with the cold reaction he gives him, he isn't taken too kindly to that at all. But at the moment, the amount of emotions that he is feeling, this utter turmoil, the shock of losing his father, killing the assailant. Right now, he's in a bit of a storm of confusion, not knowing what else to do next. So feeling very weak and vulnerable at this very moment, he'll just become very complacent in certain respects and get up and actually follow him to the bar, his head hung low, looking defeated in his very utter soul, as he heads back to there.
And he looks up at you, filling a glass, sliding it over to you. This is what rage gives us. Seen all my brothers and sisters eaten as I was little. You had him for a long time, I'm sure. But you know what I did to all who killed my brothers and sisters, my parents' neighbors? I grew big, and then I ate them. As he takes another, filling up, drinking. As he looks with that cold stare at you.
Looking down at his fallen father and looking back at him.
There's like a barmaid in front of you. He's like, yeah, trying to shelter you a bit, but and she's like, now he's still on his back, but she's like trying to get him away. It's a Kolfar woman.
As this happens, he takes in the drink and he looks at him. It kind of pulls him over with bloodshot eyes. He goes, "And that is what I'm going to do to them. I'm going to find them. I will eat them. And I will put their heads on stakes, and they will know that they have wronged the wrong ogre."
That's the tongue of Mole, kid. As he slams it. Smile at you, a little bit of smile crosses his face, and you go back to that salt lake.
And as my mind returns back to this very moment, to the present, his face is kind of furrowed as he looks at you, Kiro, and his hands kind of slightly begin to shake as he cups them back and forth. And he'll kneel down a bit, and being somewhat at eye level with you, then he'll look at you and say, "Lo there. There's something you must know. You are in no danger of ogres unless you do something to upset them. Be nice to them, be kind, and in turn we will be kind. That is the way of Mool, my friend." And then he puts his large hand on your shoulder, and his hand is still kind of slightly shaking, and it slightly stops as he puts it on yours. It kind of brings you in. "But remember, if you cross one of us, we will find you. We will kill you, and we will eat you. That is what happens to those who cross Mule. But don't worry. I don't think you are the type to do any such things, my friend." Yes.
Oh my.
No, I have never visited a cruelty or a injustice upon an ogre. I speak instead for the, you've heard of the satyrs, yes? And I begin speaking a bit louder so that Eros is sure to hear. Yes, they are goat men, you see. They are famous for their rude tongues and their ability to imbibe wine to excess. They have a tendency to run their mouths, and they will offend the ogres, and, well, being famously delicious, as goats are known to be, they will usually end their night in the darkness of an ogre's belly. Such is their fate for those who act as a fool. Now, the Hibben, you understand, they are the ones who will not run their mouths. Small, plump, owl-like though they are, they would be easily devoured by the ogre. But they live alongside them. They live in peace because they understand this. They are a sort of fae that will understand how to deal with the other fae. This is very important. I have seen a symbiotic relation between the ogre and the Hibben. The ogre will have a wicker basket upon his back. The Hibben will ride upon it, and they will light the torches that you will find at night in Flame Dance. It is some sort of holy ritual that the Hibben hold most dear. They call it lighting the hope, or the lights of hope. It is something that they do at night to make sure that all travelers are able to see in the darkness and nothing creeps in from the surrounding forest and snatches them up. You'll see both these creatures when you enter Flame Dance. You'll see many wonders there. This I assure you. You have that to look forward to.
And don't worry, my friend. I have no intention of unleashing my rage on anyone there. Well, maybe, perhaps. And he kind of goes off with a 1,000-mile stare out in the distance. And then gives you a slight nod. I look forward to this flame dance. I look forward to this indeed.
If you end up with any bodies, please let me know before you dispose of them. There's a certain portion of a sapient carcass that can be very valuable in replenishing my stores, rudely taken from me by these low creatures that we have fallen. And I reach up and kind of like caress your shoulder slightly, Arcavo.
Too far. Go. They. Hobbs goblins. Too far. To land here. No more. Go to Flame Dance. Safe. No more. From Hobbs Goblin.
Yes, they did go too far. They attacked these fine fellows, but they will not do so when we get to Flame Dance. Great safety will be found there. It is true, Apatax. Yes, as we continue through the night.
Oh, this is morning now.
As we continue through the
Attack.
night.
But
It had the temerity to dare enslave us or attempt to do so. But we broke our bondage. Those scars remain, even very soul. Wonder and shame at the defeat they suffered at the hands of their would-be slaves down by a foul-smelling pool. And for the ogres, I say thank you to them and even to the Red Moon.
as you look at them, you see one of them distracted as you're speaking, just a little bit as they're done packing up. And then they look to Akrova. Should we move out now?
Oh, yes. The sooner we get away from this place, the better.
You see, most of them are like nodding in agreement, and one of them making like upturned nose, like.
Onward, like, he just looks at them all, and he gets up and kind of puffs out his chest. Hello there! Onward we go to Flame Dance. I will play a song for us there. And he busts out the mandolin once more and begins to play a very jolly tune. This one keeping up with the flame itself.
Seeing that, like, I just look at you, and you could see like the slightest of smiles, as just around my mouth sort of tenses up a bit as I kind of go like that, like when he begins showing this bravado. But then it quickly sours as I turn and I see the other ogres and that other red-haired thing that calls itself a Myungi.
Just playing your mandolin. You're traveling from the South Lake. You're traveling, well, on this barren land with small hazelnut bushes, trees scattered. Walk past your campsite, if you can call it that. Thorstridge looking at it a bit as it's pulling a wagon where most of the goods are. All of you are walking beside it. Maybe Kuro is steering it, as he is the smallest, and it's a big load for this, well, slender-legged bird, though it's large for an ostrich. But you travel about 4 miles from there, and you see the first, well, drag mark of blood out to the road. It's blood. Well, no body, but blood, black feathers.
My grades in barber, would I be able to discern how old that
Under a
mark
day.
is? Okay. So I'll see that perhaps a few others are looking. recent. Bad. Very bad. I say in Sindarian. And I look at you, Kuro, and and Thrax, I say, keep your mind open. Your eyes wander. Look out. Be sure to look at the beasts that follow us now. Surely, we must not let them fall into frenzy.
Yes, just so. This is not a good sign here. We must be wary.
This is close to where you left off the Hippen in his herd when his flock of ostriches just a day ago. But
Is this not where that ranch of the birds was? I think a great beast, or perhaps even a bandit, has come in here and absconded with something.
Of course, in my mind, I'm thinking it's the same thing. It's that damn night watchman. You can't trust him. That dark fae. And I look at you and I just give quiet contempt at you, like, and I nod.
But you follow on, and soon you see another drag mark. More feathers. A broken crossbow bolt, which must have been ripped out of something, lying there in the road. But you continue on, and you see the yurt is being packed together. It's flat, and you see two blue forms moving about, a flock of ostriches standing guard around them, but no one else there. Just them packing up. The ostrich you are having he's looking very, well, distracted as he's looking at that. Also at the blood. He seems uneasy, not contempt by your actions or worried. He's just, worried is probably just looking around. What do? Just stand there.
Kuro, go speak with Hibben.
Yes, I hope he is still around, and I hope he is still whole. Let's see.
Oh.
What's
Thrax it to you.
Did you say Anthrax at him?
Yeah. Then, like in Sindarian, I say to the rest, stay here. We. And I gesture to Kuro, and then, like, go he. Stay we. Here.
So I approach the yurt cautiously because I don't know what I might find. Hopefully a Hibben.
They're packing it together. It's flat now, and they're like taking all the wooden bars away from it. And the one Hibben with the big yellow eyes look up at you. It's like, as you get close with your light feet, and then
I do take delight in just sort of like appearing behind him. Is one of the few beings that I can loom over with great height. Greetings once again. I'm glad to see that you are hale and hearty. Back there we saw evidence of perhaps some of the birds were snatched up and taken off. We don't know if it was bandits or beasts, but there was a broken crossbow bolt. Was that your doing, or was it some ne'er-do-well?
No. We lost some of them. This night. I'm not sure. That's why we're moving. You see another Hibben. She has like a sack over her shoulders with like, you can see an eggshell is forming on it as she's carrying it around. She looks up at you. She has not yellow but orange eyes. We don't know what it is, but we have to move. It's not safe here. Maybe there's wolves in the territory.
I understand.
It moves
Not-
a bit away from you as you're like looming and like.
Now, 2 nights before, we did great battle with a small army of enraged Ferm. There were others amongst them. They had ogre mercenaries. They were so impressed with us, they have joined us, you see. So understand this. Going that way, you'll surely be chopped asunder and smashed into bits by Ferrum axes and hammers.
Fair enough.
You know them. They're a nasty sort. Squat, bloated, strong like a boulder.
They are strong. They're not that bloated. As he looks at you with his like little pot belly, just. I can't believe Farum would. As he begins like working, if you find them, I hope you don't. As he looks out in the like horizon.
Well, we killed as many as we could.
What's that thing? As he points to Eros, looking with his big eyes.
Well, he's something like Hansa, but different.
He just keeps looking at him for a while, just with just wooden balls in his little hands.
Yes, but going that way, you will surely find the rest of the Ferrum army. If you went with us, under our protection, perhaps some of your goods as payment, then we can protect you as we head back to Flame Dance. You know the safety of Flame Dance. You know that there you'll be protected. You've seen Hans's fangs before, the fire in his eyes as he pursues his prey. You know nothing can stand against him. His arrows always find the heart or the throat.
He walks over to his wife. As they begin, well, talking to each other. It must be the sound is light, more like squeaking really, as they are communicating, and you can see she's nodding. Then she walks over to you. This army, how many are we talking?
Well, let's be honest, amongst you and I, us honest folk. When you're talking about a small Hibben family, does it really matter if there's 2 Ferrum or 200? No, it doesn't.
And she looks at her husband again, making like one squeak noise, and then he nods and begin like gathering. Are you, and she looks, is that the one with the mirror?
That's him, just so, the orc there.
And she begins waddling over to you.
Like I purposely try to keep us maybe about like 20 feet away, you know, not rolling up in their personal space. But I'm just out the cart and I just look down at it, and there's something in me that wants to express sort of a compassionate sort of look and ask if you're okay or what can we do, but I just look down and just coldly ask, what is it?
You are. She bends your head to you. really like showing you so much respect. Nearly, yeah, bending and then looking up. You are.
Alpitax. Speak.
Yes.
As I know, what language are they talking?
Oh, she's speaking in Fraxa. Very,
Okay.
very good. Yeah, very good Fraxa.
Oh my
Hi.
god. Okay.
You're him. You must be. What did you find? I could not go in there. The water's too high.
Dead land. Around the water's base. It's not safe to go around there. Regions.
Hmm.
It is safe in Flame Dance. You have gone too far from Flame Dance. That is your error. You should go closer towards the city.
I was supposed to look for the lake. For her. Could not go in there because of my size, but I could watch it. She's very interested in it.
It has been taken care of. It's none of your matter. See to it that your kin is safe. Bring them to Flame Dance. Your stock is
Never heard of-
unharmed. Your cart is well kept. I had made sure of this.
This is not my cart.
Hmm? Your beast as well.
She goes on petting it a bit, looking at the ogres like. She has like she's furrowing her small feathers. Are they? What are they selling?
No, not now. You go, leave now.
And then she
Quickly.
looks at
Go on.
Eros a bit, and then she waddles over and they both begin like rolling their earth up, putting it on a cart. And
You
there.
take beast in. We'll meet you there.
Oh, yeah. She was when she looks back at you. She walks slowly back, waddling a bit with her egg on her back.
Other than like I'll just look at the at Eros and at the other ogres. Sort of look back at them, just to like see if they're gonna like run up on that thing, and I'm just watching. But then I see Kuro making his way back, and I gesture for him. And Instantarians, we go now. Now go, Flame Dance.
So as this is
Just so.
sorry, as it's happening, I say to Arkova, sidling up beside you. Oh my, look at that sumptuous bounty that lies before us presented in this land. It seems we have been provided for. And I open my mouth wide, my white teeth gleaming. It's time that we feast. Do not smell them. Oh, the wonders of their meat. What oils may be extracted from the ground bones. Come with me, Arkova, and we shall fill our starving, roaring bellies, not upon jerked, dried meats, but fresh, fat, and blood.
Hello there. I don't know what those things are. They,
Food.
They do look delicious. But they talk to them. They speak.
Yes, the exquisite sounds they'll make, I assure you. The combination of torn flesh, dripping blood, and broken bone. Oh, I smell them now. They call to me, eat me, take my blood and bone and fat. Oh, my tongue starts like I'm salivating at this point.
Oh, your hunger is great. But, I don't think I wish to eat them. They do not anger me in any way. They haven't done anything to me.
Not your stomach angered from the lack of food it has consumed in these many days. Those foul vagrants sought to subjugate us.
Ah, yes, and they paid for it with their lives. Here, have some of mine, and he'll actually hand you more of the dried meat.
I haven't eaten any of that. I just push it away at you.
Oh.
I'll start sort of moving up to the end at this point. It's time for dinner. Yeah, I'm gonna attempt to use my stealth to.
Which one of them?
Oh, it doesn't matter. The one with the egg, I guess.
Yeah, sure. You could roll stealth.
You're damn right I can.
Eyes of Aramon.
Ooh. Bad. Did you want move silently or hide in the shadows? What do you want?
It's move silently. That would be.
Got a forte in that too, so.
I know.
17.
Yeah, that will not be enough for this one. As she, turns up at you.
I just want to explain, just so you can describe the scene correctly. Yeah. Wherever she catches me, that's when I start running at her, just like a wolf. Like, oh, you see me, and then the spurt. I have a speed of 16, so.
She looks like she looks at you in horror, and she grabs forth a knife at you. You didn't know you couldn't see it before, but now she has it in her hand, sticking out in front of you, up at you.
Alright, I have a bastard sword that's made of obsidian, so.
I guess you roll for reaction as she
Yeah, I'm gonna eat her.
Oh god. Oh.
I'm a predator, sorry.
The one with the egg.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, she's probably gonna go first, so you have that going for you. My reaction is, let's see, I have a -7 penalty, so I have a 0. As I'm utterly just sort of transfixed by her. It's not that I move slow. I'm just looking at her and I'm just salivating and smelling her aroma in and getting lost and transfixed in what she is. Lost. I'm not even comprehending or understanding. Just that utter desire to eat the egg, to eat her flesh, to consume her fat. And like I have to wait for that heightened terror from her to make the blood all the richer and the fat all the sweeter.
Well, she will, as you're running towards her, she will try to stab you at the knee. I guess that's the only logical thing you can do, and yeah. Oh god. Oh, well, that is 11. And with this silver dagger.
I don't even need to look at my bonuses. I got a 13 before that.
Yeah. No. Yeah. You can have your roll, then you can describe as she You can see.
Let's have a look here. She could beat me. That was a pretty shitty roll. 6. I'm not any sort of weapon master.
Shit.
4. I only have a bonus of 6. Yeah, that's just a 9. That was a.
Oh well, yeah. You don't hit her. You can describe as she's snapping at you, And as you are
Alright, so
slicing at her.
as she slices in with the dagger, I knock it back hard, sparking it, appearing on my obsidian blade interwoven with silver. Silver, a substance I do not fear. And my teeth come large as I grab in towards her, opening my jaws, swinging the blade across, cutting off ever so slightly, like some of her feathers sort of catch into the gentle breeze and their blue coloration. And my eyes, like I'm almost like on top of her, like just about to just swallow her whole.
That's
And she's carrying an egg as well, right?
yeah, like big egg.
Right,
And
yeah.
she just looks at the rest of you, just big glance, and then she just try to stab you again. I say her husband is just like he has like other shock on his face, like he's like so like he's filled with fear and awe, and he's just yeah. You had a 9
I think
reaction.
that's legal.
I think so. But 9 reaction. See. And she has a 14 reaction, so you are after her, and I didn't write your reaction down, just said it was worse than hers. Maybe you
It is
wrote
0.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's her turn, and she will try to stab at you again. Oh. Maybe she will stab at you. Oh. You've been getting her revenge! No, well. I have to calculate this. She got double 8 and then another 8.
God, oh my God.
Yeah, and then a 6 and a 2, so 4, 8, so that's 32. So that's...
Oh, hold on, I got an 8 too.
Okay.
That wasn't so
I have
good.
to...
I didn't get no damn 32, I tell you that.
I have to look up something. Wasn't expecting this. So I guess it's fair.
She knocked me down at least.
Ah. The hipping knocking. Where is it? 2 seconds. Sorry.
So in the midst of this swirling melee, I remained upon the cart, and that was my reaction, saying, "Oh, I think that's illegal," as I see this attack, but I do not move.
But watching all this unfold, he kind of begins to lean up against the cart a bit, his arms crossed, his brow furrowed. Hello there, Kiro. What is that?
The haven I spoke of before, it seems that starvation has overtaken Eros, and we are witnessing the pursuit of the prey.
I'm not sure what your role is, but she had a 39.
So, yeah, 19 over.
Yeah, so she boosts 3 times. She actually do get some damage, and you take 4 damage and 1 strength damage. Ander? Oh. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Right.
the knife is strangely cold as it cuts you, but you can describe as she get you knocked out and give you these.
I'm not knocked out.
She had 2 8s. That's a knockdown.
Oh, knocked down. I thought you said knocked out.
No, yeah, I probably did. Sorry.
No problem. All right. So she drives up, cutting deep into the lower groin, if you will, slashing, and blood pours from the hole she makes there of my ragged clothing down my leg. My eyes open wide, and I erupt into an enormous howl of the primal wolf with some echo of a screaming something or another else in there. And staring at her as the blood just gushes and pours down my leg, spattering all over the ground, my eyes, though I have already been well damaged and wounded. This loathsome, pathetic thing had the audacity to do so. And now I plan to just do horrendous things to it, as I look at it with a look of I'm gonna murder you as I'm taking a horrible blood loss.
And we go to Apitax as you see this. Well,
Blessed.
strangely.
In Thraxa, I start taking a few steps as I suddenly notice that the thing snuck up on it, and I'm like, blasted creature of darkness, fit thing, and then I shout in Thraxa, take your wife, get her onto the bird, get out of here, quickly! I shout. But I have a speed of 10, and I'm trying to make my way over to the scene, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to make it. I'm not. By no means do I want to touch or be in melee range of these two individuals, because one of them happens to be holding a bastard sword and has large fangs in his mouth. But I'm just I shout to the other Hibben, like as a means to sort of snap him into action to get him. Or I'm assuming basically call a bird, get out of here.
He's just still stunned with fear in his eyes as he looks at maybe a little bit less when his wife actually got something in on this terrible, awing beast. But he just looks at it. Yeah, he's not going to move anytime soon.
I got a considerable amount of presence with a considerable amount of diplomacy and intimidation. I'm trying to forcefully snap the man into action. Is what we're trying to talk about here.
He looks at you with his big eyes, and then he takes one of the poles from drops all the others, takes one pole and move in to get at the Miyagi. He's not really wanting to. He can't drag his wife off that, but he can give a beating with a stick too.
And Sindarian said, "Back, animal, back." Because he probably doesn't hear that. I'm getting my way closer, sort of hobbling. And I'm gesturing with my hand, back, sort of making a commotion.
The female Hibben is looking up at you, Barrows, and she has fierce eyes, but that blood is running down of her little arm is filling her with a bit. But she has one hand on the strap where her egg are. Nearly for getting strength of that.
I'm looking eye to eye with her. I was trying to ask you this. I don't know. I guess because of the language, it keeps changing what I'm writing in there substantially. Had we had a chance to roll recovery yet?
Lou should have rolled Barber on you, but I don't think he did it.
Oh well, I got a 20 on my Barber roll.
On me?
Yeah, I just rolled it. There.
Okay. Okay. So just please continue.
It's your turn.
Well, I'm gonna stand up and just do horrible things, man. This is my custom. God damn these dice! This is fucking hope alive, man. I think the horrible creature survives again.
Maybe.
That is a 9.
Yeah, she has an 18. And she's like rolling on you, running away.
She's running now.
No, she's yeah. No, she's not running. She is just. There's a lot of fear in her eyes, but she don't want to turn her back to you. She's like backing away a bit, but she's not turning your back on her. And I guess it's her turn. I will presume. She get at you with a 16. You can see tremendous fear in her eyes, but she just wants to. Yeah, this is basically like motherly love, like empowering her. So she holds that one strap with the egg, just savagery and fear is just in her big orange eyes.
Yeah.
She will not lose hope.
You got a what? You said 16?
Yeah.
I got a freaking 5, so. I'm in the quick. It's a few minutes.
Yeah, you take. You said you had a 5, so she boosts 2 times and give you 3 damage and 1 strength damage. And she, yeah, you can describe, but she's definitely getting savage real fast.
I gotta make sure I keep. Okay, so because losing strength is just losing another HG as well. So you said 2 plus 1, right? So that's 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
You can just feel the coldness of that blade as it shoots through you.
Well, what happens is I lunge up to impale her with my sword, my fangs out in fury. She comes in and just starts dotting my stomach, bam, 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 with like taking 4 wild shots to the stomach, and I feel that cold just rushing through my body, my eyes, in utter shock as she's sending me into shock and the convulsive, the tremendous injuries I've already sustained, and then from this creature trying to keep hope alive, the blood begins to pour from my actual stomach. Looking down in confusion and horror as blood is just rolling down my entire body, coating my lower parts and such. As I move and undulate around, the blood spatters everywhere, coating the ground in a gentle red film as murder now hangs heavy on my mind.
And it's your turn, Apitax, if you want to do anything. You can see the father slowly getting closer with that wooden beam held up high, ready to club a Miyagi.
Alright, I just I don't go in to help. I take stand a little bit further back, not in the range of the swinging bastard sword again, in the ferocious howls of the Miyagi, whatever. But I'm gonna look to if there's a nearby one of these birds they got hurting.
Oh yeah, they're a bit away. She was just walking back to that, but they're moving away, and they're definitely like getting away from this action. They don't seem pleased by this at all.
Okay.
Like,
no, I don't sort of go, but I just sort of stand there. I almost clinically detached, sort of watch. But I slowly, take a few steps forward, and then I try to grab hold of. I'm gonna try to grab hold of this sword arm of our friend here. I'm gonna try to, I guess, take it away from him. A disarming attempt now. I guess I don't have that advantage or anything, but I'm gonna just try to basically pull him away from the crazed Hibben.
Yeah, that's -4 if you want to take the weapon, and nothing if you want to grapple at him.
I'll try to take the weapon, or
Sure.
like grab him by the wrist kind of thing, and maybe by the forearm and try. But I'm not sure if that's gonna happen. As I got a 6 for my roll, or 7, I should say. My brawl.
I don't know who made my Hibben Loving dice. This is some bullshit. Let's see. So that's really, so that's +6, -5 is +1 is fucking 4. 4 is what I have, Lou. So even with your -4 penalty,
Wow.
you have. Feel free to describe at your leisure.
All right, so the Hibben like shanks you a few times, and you're like, ah, and you're getting ready for another swing, and to bring your bastard sword up for another swing, and then there's this hand that grabs hold by your forearm, and I try to pull you back. I only have an 8 strength, so I try to basically pull you back with my other hand. I'm trying to like grab your other arm, and basically take you by the arms and like pulling your back, and I'm sort of behind you, kind of thing.
So you're behind me and kind of like leaving me open for her murder.
Yeah, and I'm like trying to pull you back. I'm like, ugh.
You're pulling me back. My strength has been lowered to now only an 8 itself. I'm like kind of staggered back and like I kind of turned my head. Obviously not expected this foul chicanery. So you actually have my arm here, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I got your sword arm by the forearm, and then for your other arm, I'm like holding you by the shoulder. Like I can't grab your arm because it's sort of swinging around. I just grab you by the shoulder, and I'm pulling you back sort of in that fashion.
I got it.
At this moment, I just wanted to say real quickly, I make my first movement. I run up to Apatax, and in bizarrely accented Thraxan, I speak to him what will be absolute gibberish. No, brother, leave it be. If the Sarush eat these humans, they won't eat us. And he can make of that what he will.
All right, so obviously what anyone would do is somebody's grabbing them and trying to pull them back. Because trust me, I've been in this situation in real life a whole bunch of times. You kick them. I'm not trying to kick Lou. I'm gonna just kick this horrible little beast right in the face, really hard.
You go ahead. It's your turn. So
Pull them back. Yeah. I know.
roll
Yeah.
it.
Oh my god. I flail away ineffectively with my feet, I do believe, but we shall see. Perhaps our roll will be bad. Let's see. That's going to be a 4.
He got a 17. She's just.
No, it's very bad. I had a total of a 5. As he's like pulling me away from her at the time, I'm like, just trying to kick her very, very hard.
And well, you should. As this is a new round, her husband will try to step in and smack you with a stick. Oh, he got double ones, and he like swings at you and hits you, Arpitax, just on your leg a bit. It's not hurting that much. He's not very strong, but he just swings past him and just hits you. But yeah, that's. I don't think you take any damage. Just.
Does this free me?
No. I just sort of like. Perhaps.
You take one damage, but yeah.
Does that free me or no? As he's caught up.
Well, I got tough skin. I didn't really feel it. Yeah, it's just like like it's like this the little brother trying to help, and he's just like not helping at all, and I'm just like.
Oh no, they're murdering me.
She has a knife, not a blunt instrument. That's always helping, and she just looks at you with just hatred in her little features, and she just turns the knife, just murdering style, and walks at you. And she have a 22, where she's just getting ready to just stab at you. Oh.
I have a 5. I am willing to the quick. So, you know. And I'm just bleeding. Blood is pouring from like the stomach down. Obviously, she can't really get to my face; it's too short. But just from the stomach down, my legs. I mean, I'm just a mass of blood getting all over the ground, all around me. I'm fighting. I'm being attacked 3-on-1, and just trying to do the best I can as a hero for our modern age.
So you had a 5. Oh God. She must boost on you like 3 times again, and you take
She had what, a 20? You said?
what? She had
She had
a she had a 22.
Okay, uh-huh.
She has a substantial dex, but I guess that what's helped her now. But as she, gets at you one more time, and that will be 4 damage, 1 strength damage. You can describe, I mean, if you're in the quick.
I fall back into the treacherous orc. This plant-like vermin that has assaulted me. I fall back against it, hitting it. I mean, he's holding my arm. I don't know how well you're going to do, but I just obviously begin to, as I hit you, I just sort of slide back down against you in this dead weight form as she just drives in a shot right to the solar plexus, perhaps even puncturing a lung in the process, blood pouring now out from the lower, from just under my sternum, just pouring out of me as I'm held and confined and attacked by multitudes of fair, but perhaps even their eggs. Blood just pours down my chest. You know, large holes are already in my clothing from the destructive conditions, and the blood pours down me, and my head like rolls back, and my eyes are opening and shutting. Like I look like I'm going into some sort of convulsions, having been stabbed nearly 10 times now. So that's what you see. Either I fall to the ground, or perhaps I'm against you. I'll let you get a narrative in there as well.
And when she still has that knife in you, as you're not moving anymore, she just looks up at you with just hatred. You will not extinguish my hope. And she just yanks it out with blood. And she just walks away a bit. His husband, moving with her.
When his body goes limp, I just let him go, and he falls back, and I sort of move aside, and in an attempt with my quick orcish ways to move between this monster and the Hibben that was with the knife, and she starts turning away, but I still move in front, and then I turn and I look at Kudo for a moment. I look. As I look to the left here, and then I look back down at the Hibben. Go, flame dance, now. In Thrax I say, take the birds, take your husband, take your kin, go to flame dance. This one will be ours.
I'm looking at Eros with a strange expression, almost like extreme just wonder and surprise. It's not the way it was supposed to go at all. And I'm like pawing at him for some reason, and I begin dragging him away, and as I do so, I'm somewhere else. I'm in a yurt. I'm in a yurt myself, in a distant place, in a different time. And there are other kitsune around me. One of them comes in. Sir, they're coming. We will all surely die. And I lift a map. I lift a vellum map with hands that are my own, but hands that are not Kuro's. Here, we pass through this valley. They will go through the tribe of Sento. Remember, we don't have to run faster than the Sarush. We only have to run faster than the humans. And I begin to fold the map. So long, Clan Sento. You are one for the history books, but our tribe lives on. And then I'm back, and I'm pawing at Eros, bringing him back into the cart like, I don't understand. The wheel does not turn in this direction. He has defied it, or it has defied him. As I just muttered insanity to myself.
I'm over towards the Hibbins, as Kudo, you're bringing that body over. But I'm gonna make sure the Hibbins now. I'm like helping them up onto their foul creatures.
They were not. Well, they're not moving. And she looks at you, and she points to like the bleeding mess. I'll not move with that.
It is not our place to give judgment to this one.
If I didn't give him just judgment, he would have eaten me and my child, my husband.
But he did not. You are still here. You are safe. This one goes to the watch.
Just as a little thing, Arkova will help and assist you, Kuro, when it comes to putting Eros's body onto it. And as he does so, he will look up at you. Hello there. That is unexpected. We must tend to his wounds at once, lest he himself fall prey.
Yes, we now have a lesson to bring home, and I'm just sort of like laying some cloth over his horrific wounds, having really there we go with the extent of my barber skills. It's just sort of like laying a cloth on, not even putting pressure. When hunger overtakes us, we may do some foolish things, and when backed into a corner, even the smallest one can fight back and bite deep.
This is true. And that's what you call the Hibben there. They have most certainly fought back. That one is ferocious there, pointing at the one with the knife. Oh. That is admirable. She fight. She won. Will she eat him now?
But right now she's like up against her husband and he's like convulsing a bit, like she's crying, and they're just hugging each other.
I'm over there. I'm trying to console them a little bit,
Yeah,
but like very
making,
awkwardly.
They just look up at you. You can see she has like tears in her eyes, and she's like making this clucking sound of this sadness and agony. Just they're like, yeah.
No, I doubt they will try and consume him, but I do believe that the Hibbins' husband will be receiving a whooping, for he only brought out a stick and feebly tried to defend his wife while she cut deeply with a blade.
I see. This is interesting, But I do feel sorry for him. Looking over at Eros, looking over at his wounds and his battered body.
You can see the ogre females trying to close his wounds with failing attempts at putting cloth on it. Just trying to get his hair out of his face and putting something on it. Just removing the blood. But not really doing their raw fingers, is just like dragging him in different direction and patting him where he shouldn't be patted, but they're trying anyway.
Kyoto, how long would it be before we get to Flame Dance now?
We still have over a chain, almost a chain and a half. We will need to attend his wounds because he has about a chain of hours to live, perhaps less.
As he says that, he begins looking over the whole group, and he begins discerning different faces, and he'll start taking note of the different personalities in this group, and in particular, he'll just look at the one that they like the least, and just kind of study that person for a bit. That's about it for now.
Of the ogres?
Yeah.
Well, the one who seemed that a lot of them, they all seem to know each other very well. as they had been working together at the caravan. But there's this one guy who was like, who was throwing bits of scrap metal into the lake. Culver. He seems to be the least like. He seems to be the one most brutish of them. But that doesn't seem to. Most of them are quite calm for being ogres. Quite. Well, also calm for this horrid situation.
You also notice that there's a lot of indifference in his stare. Like he's not. It's very cold, but at the same time, there's an odd amount of normality that he has in his look as all this violence has unfurled before him.
See to it that you are brought safely now. I must tend to my own. Your property will be returned to you upon once we reach Flame Dance.
The husband looks up at you. You really want us to travel with the beasts?
No. But I do not have anything to give back to you for the beast. Or we need your beast to pull the cart.
They begin packing up the animals with points of the dirt, and they move behind you in a little like entourage of like they have 13 ostriches.
No, I would have actually been like, no, pack up, go ahead. We'll be here. I'll have to tend to the beast.
They
See to
nod.
it that it at least stays alive for judgment.
They move on in that little caravan. All the animals are holding their part of the earth, and the two of them are sitting on one of the ostrich as that orange-dyed female is just looking bad. Just hatred. There's not normally on these birds, but there's just this hatred as she holds onto the straps of her egg. And just like.
So I return and very sort of calmly, I make my way back over and I see Eros. Perhaps some of the ogresses are like freaking out. And they're like,
Yeah, they are. But
and I gesture like with a hand to usher them. I don't go near them, like for an ogre arm's length for them to grab me, but I just like gesture like, I don't say anything to them. I just like step away, kind of gesture.
they step away a bit, but not. There's still an arm's reach of arrows. And
Then I say in Sindarian to Arkova. Step. There. Room need.
Oh, of course, and he'll back up as he does so, but he'll also be watching intently from a distance, marveling at the work that he is about to perform.
And in Thrax I say to Kuro, tell the other ogres that we will make camp here. Must give the Hibben plenty time, days perhaps, before we move. Go on.
I see. We just need to make sure our supplies do not dwindle. And yes, I do turn to the ogres, and I explain the situation in that with Eros being so wounded, we need to stay here. He needs to be stable as he recovers. Appetax, and a gesture. He is a skilled barber. He will make sure that he will survive. You would not wish to see Eros slip further and further into Tahul's embrace, now would you? And I put my hand on the arm of the ogress that's been tending him. Good. You'll need to stay by his side. Make sure that when he wakes, yours are the first eyes in which he looks into. I know you are up to this task.
you see one of them with like these bright blue eyes look at you and then nod. As they walk a step further. Now they are without arm's reach, but they're still very close as they're just looking if you do anything to harm him. They will
Then
certainly be at you in a second or two.
I go to the cart. You know, and actually now I'm very much more at ease as I worked on him and a few of the ogres very, very lightly, more so the ogres. But I worked on him before, and I was a little, I was a little anxious at, too close to the fangs. But now that he is knocked out and he's just sort of, his body's all pale, very, very calm, very much more calm at this. And noting at the coloration changes of his skin tone when the blood loss, that's I'm just sort of making mental notes as I work as very sort of precise, almost coldly surgeon would as Kuro. You would know that's actually my actual profession within Flame Dance. I am one of the more pronounced doctors. So I guess that's lucky for this one.
As you work, you notice that Krova, he begins like leaning onto the cart a little bit, and there's his hands right here on the sides of his head. He just stares intently at what you're doing and just sort of like observing all of your little movements.
Mm-hmm. You see me, I take out like several of these wooden bowls that are cut, and they're very shallow, and they're very small, and there's like 7 of them that I put out, onto my right side, and I have a larger sort of bowl that I use. I have a few rags in there. That's to my left, and I have a wrapping wrapped in leather, several other tools. Again, these tools are made of a mixture of wood, bone, a little bit of glass, and sort of hollowed out bone in certain parts of them. But you'll see me. I guess I don't have any means of sleight of hand, but I do take a considerable amount of blood from Eros, using almost like a straw, a hollowed out sort of cylinder-like bone tool that has a slight hook of a hollowed out fang, perhaps, and I dip that in, and at one end I start like sucking and getting the blood to start coming up, and then in which case I just take a little bit into another sort of smaller container, and I was like, this is very casual. I just do that, and then I go in and I see.
You can see one of the ogres is just lifting an eyebrow at you as you do that, like. As you're doing that, then you like all casually, and then she just looks at you with contempt, but he doesn't do anything.
Now and then, as I work, like I'll look at Arkova, and I'll say in Sindarian, further. Go. Stand. Wait. Camp. Make.
Oh, but the rest are already doing that. You don't mind me watching, do you?
I know how blood excite you. No excite here.
I have no desire to eat this one. No. I'm more. What is the word? I would like to learn this. What you are doing here, you mend the flesh.
Yes. Unfortunate. His body. Scar many. I like shake my head. As if like looking at this fine specimen before me. And then I look at you again, and I. Here. Too deep. Blade went. Cut. Inside. Bad. Time take that. It's like day, and I gesture up. Sun, down, up, down. At least. And I hold up. Before that, together. Other,
Mm.
more time. Other, and I gesture to like the other ogres. You, look, food, get, if can, you.
Mm. Yes. I will see about this. And he
In time.
kind of slowly just kind of backs up a bit, but he still watches as he diligently work, rubbing his chin occasionally.
You see, like I've actually put on a weird sort of thing that I don't have large ears being an orc at all. So it's imagine sort of like a circlet, a headband thing that I have over my head with like these several almost lenses that sort of move up and move down. They're interchangeable. Some of them are large, some of them are a bit smaller, and you see me sort of using that to look at in some parts. My hands, of course, I mean, they got. I mean, I'm not wearing any manner of gloves or anything like that, as I'm not used to working on this or anything like that. But I mean, I do clean my hands off just with a rag. I just wipe it, and as I get blood on it, and just keep sort of working these strange tools.
What is that you have there?
See,
Upon the eye, what is?
I just gesture at see. And I gesture back to the wound, and I continue working. This
The
one.
ogres get up at you as you're still working. We have set up camp. We will go hunt. And they reach out for the war spear you have. Our crowbar, take it, and then they leave, the three of them. Not really. They have like a pained look at this beauty as he's just battered there, and then they move.
Yeah, and I've cut away his shirt, you know, with like a
But
very
they
small
linger a
blade.
bit, just, and then they move. But
I've cut away his shirt, you know. I guess leaving his pants on because he wasn't hurt, stabbed there as far as I saw. But you know, I rolled the pants, the check up to the probably up to the thighs. But it's almost like I go to the knee, you know, rolling up his pants, and then I continue sort of pulling him up, just sort of seeing musculature and you know how the way his it connects to his knee, and I'm just, then it goes back down. But I there's a part where finally, you know, I sew together the wounds, I staunch the bleeding, and I set I set him up. He's in the cart. I got him sort of. He has a headrest and he's slightly set up. But as a note for you, Mia, I most certainly am not. Like I'm trying to keep him under, by means of herbal aesthetic anesthesia. I am trying to keep him under until perhaps, you know, the wounds. Purposely trying to make him not wake up through sort of herbal remedies, and I guess that'd be more sort towards my barber role. As I don't know how much to give him, but I'll give little by little, as this is quite a beautiful, wondrous thing before me. Last thing I want to do.
You can give me your barber roll.
Alright, well, let's see how I do.
Yeah.
Not too well.
Oh, but did you do get +1 for knowing him? So.
I got a 13.
Yeah, sure. And I will give you +2 for good description, so 15. So.
But I do, okay, so then I take perhaps longer. Then I you know, I take a few hours, about 4 hours of surgery on this thing. Until finally, you know, I have like a thing over his body, just revealing his head. You know, and I'm actually, you know, I go over to Kuro and perhaps, you know, like I gave you.
Wait. As Kuro, you are watching this. Well, sorry about this. Interrupting you, Lou. But this surgery is surely makes a memory in you. Let's see. You're drifting over the floor, wooden floor, like you're carried along by your feet alone. Your hands are filled with blood of your patient. You look up at the other kitsune in the room, and then at the pale moon out of the window. Pale white moons. The moonlight casting shadows on your brow. The female is screaming in the other room. Don't have long. You, as the doctor, the barber, have two options. The other, dressed in fine silk, opulent jewelry, has two choice. The mother or the child who's trying to destroy her, it seems. Sukwa.
At times like this, we must make a choice. But the way I say it, there's only one. Always. Choose the future generation. And I nod to my assistants. And we head in.
You're not in the room. You're in the other room with this person.
Yeah, I nod to the assistants, and then we head into the room there where it is.
And the female Freen screaming at you, but your assistants are holding her down. There's blood everywhere. She can't hold till the day of Alzam, you know this. The day of Ajira not doing well. She started labor on the day of Luku, and it never ended. And we switch back to you. Those screams still echoing in your mind. As Eros is still, Eros is still in that same position as she was, but there's no one holding him down. But he's still full of blood.
Kuro. The blade. The blade. You know, and then you see like I'm gesturing. Having gave that sort of bastard sword, you know, not to you, but like, you know, to put it away. Seeing that you didn't do that, and I just sort of look at you. What is that? I gesture to like the runes on it. Of course, I'm speaking
I do not know it. All I can recognize is that it is in the script of Morgul, the flames. See how the letters leap and lap as if they were the flames themselves. I cannot read it, though I have recognized it, seen it before. As far as letters go, I have a few under my belt, but Morgulish is not one of them. And I've been actually putting quill to parchment for some time now, as Apatax has been working, and I show something written in Sindarian to Arkova. Now, see here, this is something I have been inspired to do, a tale of triumph, one of hope, one of light over darkness, the small defeating the large. You can understand why I was inspired by this most recently. I'm a playwright. I'm a man of words in the same way that you're a man of song. Take a look at this. I finished half the first act. I think you'll find it most interesting. And I hand it over to Arkova to look.
You say it's written in Sindarian? Okay, he'll pick it up and he'll start looking over it, and you'll see like this moment where he looks like he's reading it, and he's nodding, and then all of a sudden there's this sort of like this slight frustration in his eyes, and a little bit of embarrassment, as his cheeks get a little bit pale towards there on his cheeks, and he'll kind of roll it back up and hand it back to you, and then he'll kind of say in a lowered tone, "No there, I cannot read Sendarian yet, my friend."
Oh, I see. Well, you speak it quite skillfully. I suppose both of us will apply some more work to learn the letters of the languages that we know, for Morghulish will serve me well, Sindarian will serve you quite well. There's no shame in this. We have shared some of our secrets. I understand this is painful for you, but for
It
me,
is.
it's a bonding experience. Yes.
It. I wish to learn it, and I will try to learn it, of course. I speak many a tongue, but writing it down, it takes much more time, and I often spend much of it making song. Oh, yes, much time. Of course, a lot of it has fleeted me as of late. I've had not much time to put towards my craft. No there, no. I've had much more things upon my mind. And again, he gives up that 1,000-mile-a-yard stare, and then kind of glances back at Eros, and seeing his bloodied form, he kind of thinks back, and it's obviously beautiful, his bloodied form. He thinks back to his father once more, and then Kiro, you'll see him kind of glance upwards, and as he does, he kind of clenches his fist a bit, and his brow furrows a bit as he stares up and kind of just nods his head, stiffens his lip a bit. Many things have been upon the mind. Many things.
Yes. This trip here has weighed upon us all. Very wrought with danger. So many events. One of our compatriots is nearly dead in a battle we all assumed he would come out on top of. Never underestimate the fury of one backed into a corner, especially one with an egg upon her back or a baby in the belly. But tell me, what weighs so heavily upon your mind? An ogre such as yourself must be used to hardship, used to battle. You've seen many things, I am assured. Your companions are rough and tumble types, but you, I can tell you've risen beyond that.
Yes. There is much I have risen above. When I started this journey, it was not on my own want. There was a time, long ago, when I would like to sit down and just play. But something was taken away from me. And that something that was taken, I will never forgive. You ever had something stolen from you, friend?
Constantly. That is something you will learn about Flame Dance. Keep your eyes open. Sticky fingers are everywhere. Satyrs, you understand?
Have you ever had someone take life away from you? Life that you hold dear?
And then now it is my turn for a 1,000-yard stare, as we just see flash of arrow to the eye, knife to the chest, ogre sling stone across the head, and just in a spray of blood. The last gasping breaths under the sea. Reaching out in frozen water at a priestess with Ibikine there, just laughing. Torn asunder by wolves, torn asunder by ogres, torn asunder by Optalangs, burned by a man in red robes and an iron and steel mask. And then we're back. Many have attempted this upon me, despite my charming nature. Others have tried to erase me. Am I to assume that your instrument, the thing most deity, was stolen in the past?
Turning it around, he kind of holds it in his hand, cradling it as if it were a child, and looks to you. No, this was never taken away from me. It was something else. Family.
The most important thing. The most important thing to us all.
I don't know who did it. I am on their trail, and that trail leads to Flame Dance. And when I find this person that's done it, or the persons, whoever they may be, I will kill them, and I will eat them. All of them. If I have to wait a few days, then I will eat them again. That is what I will do.
Then woe betide those who have taken from Arkova. Let his footfalls be the thunderer sound of doom. And I look down and I start writing this down. Yeah, that's good.
At the same time, in his head, Arkova is thinking of this going, and as he's thinking of this in a form of song, he'll then turn to you. Woe to them indeed, friend, for they will know my wrath. I know not why they did what they did. I don't even care any longer. For you see, all that is left for me now is to find them and bring them down with my rage. Yes. All of them.
And as we see you, well, some of you are still in the cart, others are in the makeshift tents of the Vikish stolen goods. You all sit there around a campfire, maybe enjoying some of Akrova's music. Kuros, well, little axe, as he shows this using the flyer as he's tending the anticipation of these ogres. The ogres are eating rabbits, and they said they had a fox, but then they wouldn't take it with them because of Kuro. Just out of they're not going to do that. And arrows you have been given 2 white furred bunnies at your lap. You're still so daisy that just. But they're there. All of you have getting like 1 bunny, but he gets 2. That was very clear.
So wait, am I so I'm conscious is what you're saying?
You're nearly unconscious. You're just on the verge of unconsciousness.
Give me some more details so I can play that correctly. Like, am I all drugged up? Is it I'm
You're a bit. You're drugged up. You're not much in pain because of the drugged up state, but because of your sense of smell, you'd be like getting closer to the edge of like consciousness because of the smell of these nearly just dead.
Oh, so rabbits. you mean I'm really, really out of it, like almost like incapable of really even basic communication, you're saying? Like just kind of babbling incoherently?
You're a bit up above that, but that's only because of the meat who's just been given to you. I'm guessing that would sharpen the senses of any wolf.
Well, I certainly wouldn't otherwise accept that, but in this state, and certainly being well versed in the arts of smelling and sensing and so forth, I probably just grab this thing and fall upon them, devouring their flesh and blood to fully aid in my own recovering processes and my own satiation, if you will.
you do, and we see the next morning you all get away from that. Just after Elsam's dawn, you travel for many days in this environment, a chain, and you get to a town. Everyone is awfully thin. You was between all of you. Two of you were in this town before, but it was in the middle of the day. This is the afternoon. No one's out in their field, but everyone's looking too thin, except the ogres. They don't have their pot bellies, but they seem well nourished, big. But you move into this town, perhaps wanting supplies, because you are, even as you're getting rabbits most of the time, sometimes other things, little birds, pheasants, but you don't have much grain or anything for, well, basically Abitax and the bird, who don't enjoy eating rabbits every day. Get in here. The peeping people moving in the street. They don't seem unhappy, even though they are malnourished, many of the children. The demographic of this city is human, satyr, and ogre. And, well, you see a hidden now, then and there, but it's clear that they're trading here. Everyone's moving around. The streets are filled with dust. I know two of you have very good noses. You can smell that something has been burning in the middle of the street. And you, at Eros, you can have rolled me some conditioning rolls. I think you will be okay. You have, you will be nearly fine. It's been like, let's say, a chain. So it's the
A chain?
42 days. You haven't catched up to the Hibben yet.
42 days?
No, it's the 40.
Oh.
It's that day.
It's so
42nd day of the cycle?
All right, so were we on the 31st?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, full chain. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's see.
I think you. I don't think you have to roll.
What health gauge? Oh, what's that?
Nothing. What did you say?
You said something about roll. I couldn't.
You don't have to roll. There's just 11 days, and with the care of an actual barber.
Yeah, sure.
You've been. I don't know if Abitax, you've been studying your samples or not.
Well, I can't hear.
Yeah.
But if it, I mean, obviously, I would be looking at them if there's any discernible effects to the severed Vigish finger or the Vigish nail that I put in another bit. I also poured a little bit of Eros's blood into like a small little container with that liquid, just to see reaction in that. But very, very, very small, like preliminary tests, really.
We've seen that this already sickly pale, Vigish claw-like finger is getting nearly stalk white. The nail is not really having much to that. That's all you see for now. Not going to take up and cut in it, I'm sure. But that's just notes.
Yep. And in Thraxa, I'll go to Kuro and I'll need to look for a trader here. You need to look for a trader here. Find feed for our beast and perhaps a few apples, roots, berries for myself. Go on. Take Arkova with you. I will stay by the cart with the other ogres and this one here. That gesture to Eros, as he's sitting up and.
I don't know if you have been drugging him like all the days as you've been patching him up. But that's for you to decide how his state is. Architects. But
I don't like. I just basically make it as if you're really drunk. Sort of the effect, like you're maybe not really drunk, like you're dizzy, but more so your body just a little numb. You could sit up and everything, but it just you could probably like move or like walk, but it's as if like your body was asleep, like it was coming back from being asleep. When your arm's asleep, like if you sleep on it or something. But it's like that tingly feeling is sort of coming back now and then. But you most certainly, I mean, like that numb feeling definitely blocks those little pinprick sensations that now and then shoot through your body of just your stitching and your from your wounds. But that's it. I've replaced what I can. I'm not prepared for this sort of surgery, this amount of surgery, so I don't have enough cloth or anything or bandages, wrappings to like keep giving them new ones and clean ones. So I've used like let's say I have like 4 of them, and I've gone through each of them, and I'll just try to clean them with water and before like reapplying them. And
the ogresses would have given you some of the fur they wore in Niflund for this. They're not. They all of them had like fur bits on their clothing, but now it's like they can take it off because they're moving, and they want to show off that red skin, all of them. So you can get like patches of.
I don't deny that, but I don't use them as wrappings. I use it basically as a blanket, help just keep his body warm, comfortable. As over time, there's a sort of cold demeanor, perhaps Eros, you would feel come off from me, now and then, like you'd slip into consciousness, and you'd see me just sort of quietly working on you, like you'd be babbling some few things like, but over time, I would actually have started speaking words to you in Sindarian, sort of reassuring words. You rest now.
Yes.
Calm. Food come to you.
My head feels drained.
Almost there.
Yes, it's so tired. Not sure. I'm not hungry right now. So I start like trying to stand up. Like how
You can
fucked
stand up.
Would I be falling down? And I'd be like my mind just not capable of comprehending anything. Like
No, I mean you'd be able to like stand and whatnot. It's not really strong stuff, but you definitely your body most certainly is weak, and when you put pressure in certain parts, you'd feel your stitching and everything.
what's wrong with my head? I feel so strange. Yeah, yeah. Oh.
I just look at you and then like I'm trying to find my words, like you could see me like moving my mouth around like essence. Leave lots.
Essence, yeah.
Head 4.
I start like fumbling in my bags and I pull out like a little bottle of something. Yes, essence. So finely distilled, scent, holding. And I kind of get in my head. So it's disorienting. God, I'm very tired.
Oh,
What is you got there? You can see a satyr just looking at Eris's phone, like looking at you.
I see a satyr.
Yeah. He's a bit away. He's just looking at.
We're actually in the town of Flame Dance at this point.
No, this is not Flameland. This is a little city.
We're in a
Out
little
of
town.
He's fairly gaunt. Most of them are in here. They smell like there's been burning. You have burning like not weeds have been burning in here recently. There's just this smell of.
I look at this thing. I've never seen a satyr before. I'm like, what are you? And I start smelling it. Strange, heady, musky scent you have. It's delightful.
It walks closer to you. It's like
I put my hand like out towards it.
Clearly seeing this as an invitation, but it looks.
Yeah, sure, yeah. For 5 of attractive, I wouldn't it? Yeah.
It's like, it looks at your hand, Abitax. What?
Go.
It looks up at Eros, just waiting for if this is your will or something, like looking up at you.
I have something that looks like maybe to them maybe drugs, and then also me. there's that.
It looks like it just looks at that like you. I was like, come on, man, just looking at you, and then it's like sees one of the female ogre just looking at it with the death stare, like.
What are you?
I'm a satyr, and it walks a little bit closer. Then it touches your hand, and like it walks away again.
We'll need to find somewhere, Taylor. And I'm just kind of like just talking, like kind of mumbling. Taylor. Yes.
And then there's like a female ogre puts her hand on you and say, "You can leave now." To that, and then and then it walks away, but doesn't leave. It just stands there and just looks at you. As the ogre is trying to block his view a bit with her large frame. You have to be careful, Eros. You should sit up in the cart again.
No. I must. I guess find something here. My mind is adrift, like a feather on the breeze. What is it? What was I looking for? And I need something to wear. This is not becoming. Perhaps we could find someone who could rectify this shabby circumstance that I have been put upon me. I'm so tired. My huge teeth showing as I yawn.
Lay. You. Too much movement. Break. Binding. I gestured to, like, to myself as it, like where you were sort of hurt.
Fine. I suppose so. Is my sword still near me, by the way?
Yeah, I just kept it in the, like, all your belongings just in the cart. It's not a big cart, just by you.
I kind of stumble back over to the cart and sit down. What are we doing here? We're staying here for some time.
Kuro, Markova, get few, small, then go.
Yes, well, I need clothing. This is not acceptable. I should assure you of that.
I mean, I just look for Kuro and Like if they're nearby, just sort of flag them down for a moment.
Tell the little fox to fetch me some garments that are coming. Oh, I know what he is. Yeah.
Just nod. Kuro, saying Thraxa to you. He's out waddle on over.
I've just been engaging in some trade here. I'm glad to see that Eros is at least up, if not about.
Yes. It wishes to have clothing on itself. If you find any, we'll make arrangements for your reimbursement. For I do not have
Yes.
the funds, these people do not have any extra foodstuffs or furs for them. Do what you can, find what you can.
You will find me most resourceful. Yes, I think I will come back with something to his liking. And as I go throughout this small town, I am trying to pawn off the 2 iron helmets, the 4 boots. I do keep the steel dagger for myself though, just in case. And let's see, if there are any weapons left over that the ogres did not take up, perhaps we could get rid of some of that.
No, they seem to have been quite
Right.
like the whips and the like war spears. It's been really been like dear to them now. A bit using them as walking stick and feeling ballen, but yeah. So not really any. But you can definitely sell the fur boots. But it seems like there's not a lot of different foods. Most of them are root fruits, not a lot of weeds and that sort. Most potatoes, carrots, and other stranger things you don't know about. Someone's trying to sell you something he calls pastinac, but who knows what that is. It smells sweet, but looks weird. Just this wide, it's white fruit, just fairly long in it, but pointy at one end. Just as a little spearhead.
So
But they don't seem like they want to sell you it. But if you see like, they will sell you, but it's not like they're trying too hard of it. They're all like gone, but they will sell you, but it's more like, oh, all right.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
you see a cart
being
moving through with,
uh-huh.
as you are a bit another way, a cart. There's 2 humans riding it, and with oxen in front of it. And there's a lot of like clay, really fine clay thing. And you can roll me a perception roll. Just clay pots in it. It's just filled with these. Perception, hearing. Still moving through. They are dressed in far nicer clothing than these. Still not the best. They both have leather vests.
Mm-hmm. So I only got an 11 on that one.
Nah, you don't hear nothing. But yeah, you see this ogre female. So, and she's like looking at the fur boots, just smelling them.
Yes, they may be a bit too small for your liking, but if you have a small ogre child, I think you'll keep his feet nice and warm for a few cycles yet before he outgrows them.
She, by the way, is much lower than the other. She's like nearly 7 feet. But she's still grown up, but she sells you, gets you a bag filled with these strange vegetables.
Mm-hmm. So, being a streetwise individual, I do wish to replenish these supplies, but also I do want to find a tailor, a clothier, a thin, and trade to him something in exchange for Yeah, I mean, I really am going to go for some nice clothing. It's always good to be on the good side of a Mihangi.
Well, there is. You don't see a cloth on this. This is a really small town.
Hmm.
There's not any shops, but that one like cart where this ogre stands. There's a well, but there's not really any place. But you remember all the leather armor you have in your that should be able to fit him. Studded leather that should fit him fine if you really want to get clothes on him. They may be smelling foul of tallow blood, but they fit probably.
Well then, I will have. Yes, I'll have someone wash it. Like I'll go outside, a tavern or an inn where people are washing, clothing and or bed sheets, and just sort of, idly talk to one of the tenders nearby and see if for but a pittance they might, give it a washing, because after all, you see, this here armor belongs to a powerful warrior, and I'm his squire. And if I do not clean this, he was in a dim and grisly battle. If I do not clean this, he will surely cosh me about the head and knock me into the mud, and I'm trying to avoid this. Now, if you get this nice and clean, I will of course give you a good word with this master warrior, and it is always good to have a man such as this on your side. Wouldn't you agree?
You see a human woman just looking at you like, and she looks, because of your streetwise, you're inside, you'll see that it's strange for her, for a man to just come up and talk to her. She's like a bit flimsy about that, but she does wash it. Not really knowing what you're saying, but you're just showing her it, and she's like washing it. A bit looking up at you like, she's smaller than you. She has brown skin, curly hair, brown eyes. She looks up at you. Features are very, very gaunt. Hands very small. She washes this for you. She's quite good at it, but yeah. You can also see, as you have streetwise, that there's these bigger ogres who are looking at you. As you walked in, looking at that cart who moved before you. All of you with streetwise could notice that the ones who are not malnourished are looking at you, moving about slowly. Slower than an ogre would.
I would make sure that as we're walking, upon noticing this, that Arkova is going to he's going to start flexing every time he walks, and he's going to make himself look as big as possible, as unappetizing as possible, that perhaps they will end up becoming the meal if they end up going at him. So he will he'll bring that about, and if I notice that they're staring at Kuro in that fashion, he will kind of do the thing where he'll loom behind him and fold his arms, and he'll do that bit.
And you see this cart as well moving. These, well, tan-skinned humans with blonde hair, brown eyes who are moving this cart through the city. And I guess all of you three would see it now, as Kuro has moved close to you, and you can, roll a perception. And you, Eros, you feel something strange, something fractured in you, that as it gets nearer.
What's getting near?
It's a cart filled with clay pots, 2 humans in front, having oxen in front of it, and
Clay pots.
yeah, and you can all roll a perception hearing, but it's just, you have this strange feeling in you, like fractured.
I had a 14.
Yeah. Your other rolls? 14 won't do it. And Kuro, the liar, what is your perception roll? Perception hearing?
I got 11.
Yeah, you don't hear anything as this this walk, but you still have that weird feeling, Kruvas, as this moves beyond you. They look at you, Architects, with content in their eyes for what you are. Not, perhaps, doesn't look at anyone else, any of the Fae with this contempt, but you definitely feel the hatred in their eyes.
I do have my cloak, my little hood over my head, but I just look back at them. Like I look back at them for a moment, and then I see that look, and then I just kind of like look away. But not, I keep them in my peripheral. I don't want to, in an effort to like hide a confrontation, So,
I believe we're going to end it here. As you stand in the city, people are thin, and you and another cart is moving through. Smelling burned weeds fills the air. So you can give me some increase, I guess. I should make a list. Well, arrows. You go first.
There's some strange drift of time has conspired. I can hardly discern what to make of it, but there seems to be something there strange. At least I have the kind-hearted orc looking out for me. He is clearly a good one. He's been helping me most patiently. He is stoic, that one. Hard to read, but I have come to see his a gentle touch, ministering to me with herbs of both hideous and interesting sense. This land of Bifnul is full of strange changes, full of possibility. I remember being stabbed over and over and over again by that despicable blue-furred little thing. It got its way this time. I remember its daggers stinging, strange. Still, it has never felt so cold before. Ah, that egg, yes. Let it hatch. When the sun sets, I will howl at your door. Knock it down. All things will be set right and put to a certain equilibrium. Yes, this fox with me, this group of red ones, this fine orc. Perhaps we shall find proper future in the flame dance. So now I look down at myself and see I am ragged, I am disheveled, and I do not like this. It cannot be so filthy and blood-stained with clothing that are not even fitting for anyone but me, one of my station, one of my lineage. It cannot be so crudely attired. What, after all, would those think, those that wish to hold me in their heart, those that wish to idolize me? How can they be so deprived? This is not acceptable. But perhaps we shall come to a state that is acceptable. Perhaps it shall be this wine-scented, frolicking flame dance I hear. It moves through my mind, and I put my passion forward there, and I shall sell my elixirs, and perfumes, and soaps, and candles, and I shall come to build what must be built, perhaps there, perhaps upon its back. I am hungry. Being fed, it sickens me. I'm a hunter, apex predator, gifted with wings from above, and screaming skies and dark nights, burning sand. And I shall come to reclaim what's rightfully mine. My legacy shall be fulfilled, and I shall rise here and be reborn.
Day one working on Eros. This foolish creature driven by such base instincts. How could it do such a thing? Could I not see the secret? Day 7 working on Eros. I've noted this one's form to be different than the others. Different than that other one that carries the black hair about it. They dare keep it as his watch. I guess it's smart to have something so wild. Be able to hunt criminals that dare seek refuge under those trees in the forest nearby. This one, though, it is. Must be kept safe. Must be kept safe, yes. Perhaps its fate is in another stream. I'm sort of looking down at it. Eros's body. 9th day, working on him. It stirs. I cannot see this thing be beheaded or strung up. It is not, perhaps, what it says it is. Perhaps it is something that wears its skin. It's a test. No, it is no. It's a creature of darkness, that's what it is. Does that mean it should be felled by its judgment? I'll watch after it. And then I pat its head, as Eros, your eyes open, and I say, rest now. Sleep. Good. Centaurian. 11th day. Walking in the town. This is not good. We should go in here quickly. I don't like the look of these other ones. It's a place led by ogres. Surely is a brutish and horrid place. They know nothing of judgment or what is morally correct. They only know one thing. How could you ever place such a beast in a role of leadership? Look at this one. Walking around and wearing flesh like that. As if it was guided by properties. That one, so gaunt it'd be a bone dancer soon enough. Oh, that one, oh yes, that one. Surely you lead this place, don't you? You filthy, despicable, red-skinned beast. Smile at that one, yes. You own it, don't you? To eat it later, I'm sure. Horrid creatures. And then I see the hateful look. We are unwelcomed here. We should not stay here. Yes, I'll tell Kuro this. He has the rationale and decency in his mind to understand the words of an orc. Words of an orc. Ming, sir, have you put your grasp upon this place? To this I give my prayer to you, that you do not seek your vengeance upon our craft, our vessel, our caravan, those that walk with me. They are not yours. These other putrid things, they are yours to take. Do as you wish with them. For these with me are under my care. And until I see that they are suitable for your maw, I will gladly give them to you. But that time is not now. Not now.
Lo there. The journey started as it would any other. A step upon the doors of the outside, and onto the world I explored. I walked with these two legs of mine, up and down the lonely shore. And when I did, I seen many a sight, many creatures, tall and small, wide and heavy, lowly and disgusting, delicious in some cases, not so tasty in others. And I traveled, I did, and upon my back I carry only my essentials, my mandolin, songs, but mostly I carry my burden. For you, my father, I carry upon my shoulders, for those who have done us wrong, for all we did was sing our songs and bring forth jolliness to all those around. We meant no harm, and yet they did harm unto us, and for that is unforgivable. I shall find them. Oh, woe unto them I shall. And when I do, they shall feel my fury and all of its splendor. For I shall save it. Oh, yes, I shall. I will hold back on every battle, and I will save all of that rage for that one moment, for that one delicious moment that I shall unleash my fury, and they will know. For mountains shall shake, and skies will tremble, for I will be upon them, and they shall know the name Arkova, for Arkova is mountain's voice and my people's tongue. But that journey is lonely and long, and already I have been almost made slave, and died. But I have met some friendly fellows, it seems. One of impeccable beauty, so strong and so mighty it strikes even the soul and makes it weep when it is injured. But he too is hungered. He has a hunger unlike any other. I identify with this. And there is Kuro? Yes. A friendly one, that is. Quite the talker. And I appreciate that. He writes stories, he says. A playwright he is. Well, I write stories too, and song. They're not so much different, are they? I like this a lot, I do. And then there is, of course, the orc, Apatax. He has guarded that one. He is like one who has been wounded before, and guards it well. That is what I sense. That is what I sense. But no matter who I meet upon my journeys, I know the end. For I have seen it in my dreams. The blood upon my hands will be that of my enemies, and they will know my fury. They shall never know my fear, however. Not my trepidation that I hold as I walk these lonely lands on this trail of vengeance and blood. Woe unto my enemies! I carry many burdens so, and I shall break their bones and wear them as necklace and tribute, as a reminder to all those who would dare cross me. Yes. And then he glances up at that black sky as he glints one last string of his mandolin.
It is times like this when I see such surprises in the world that makes me question, are we all indeed tied to the ever-turning wheel? Can we escape? Surely a Hibben escaping the fate that clenched around her neck, teeth wide, mouth open, ready to accept flesh and blood. I've seen it before, but this time it was different. This time the little bird bit back. Did she rage against fate and make her own path, or was this too destined? Do any of us have choice, or is it all written out before us? A play written by players that have no idea of their roles. Eros Adonis. Surely he must have stepped out of the wheel, entered the realm of pure happenstance and coincidence. He defied fate, and he paid the price. Apatax. The orcs and the magi have always stepped outside the realm of fate. They've made their own, and we've seen how this has worked out for them. Truly, can any of us name a single city where the magi rule with impunity? No, that is impossible. Arkova, his wheel grinds inexorably forward. Someone is going to get ground under them iron-shod wheels. I wonder, do they have any idea about the fate that will befall them? I don't think they do. I wonder, do any of us know what will be in store for us? Do any of us know what choices we truly have? How many lives have I tasted? And of those that I've tasted, how many lives have those lives touched? The great wheel, its span is far larger than anything I could imagine. The great wheel is like a great web. It always moves, but there's no beginning and no end. We're tied to it. I'm not entirely sure any of us can escape. I'm not sure any of us have any sort of choice. And as I lay down for that night, I drift off into the dream, a dream in which I hold out a black-gloved hand, and into it is placed a weapon. This is one of the few times in all the memories that I can imagine where I don't look down upon Kitsune hands. Instead, no, it is a different Fae. A cloaked figure approaches, giving me the weapon. You know what you need to do. You know you got no choice, boy. You know you got no choice. And he steps back. I look down to the kukri that has been placed in my hand. I look through that window to that tavern there, 2 ogres have just taken the stage. I know what I need to do, and I know that I have no choice. I walk silently into that place, and all I hear is their twin mandolins. I know I have no choice.
I'm jamming out to that music.
As well, bye. And